is going on, YouTube universe? Welcome to the Hip and Shoulder, and with round 24 kicking off later tonight for the final time of the home and away season for 2025, it is time for us to get our tips in. I want to preface this video by apologising for not having a round recap video drop this week. I've been incredibly unwell. You might be able to hear it a little bit. I apologise for that. There was nothing going to stop me from getting the tipping video out this week at least. What I have done over on the community tab on this channel, I have dropped the round 23 votes as well as my team of the week. So if you want to go check those out, feel free to do so. Hoping to be on the mend over the weekend so I can get a final round recap out next week for round 24 before diving into some finals action and, really diving in deeper into team, analysis and doing deeper round recaps in that retrospect. I've got plans moving forward as well to reshape the round recap moving forward into something that's a lot more cohesive. So keep your eyes peeled. But before we can get our tips in for later tonight and for the rest of the weekend, we need to take the time to reflect on round 23. And after a very, very shaky start, I bounced back. I'm actually quite happy I did so. I managed to tip 6 out of 9, which I think I will take. I could have easily got an 8 out of 9 here, maybe 9 out of 9 if I had tipped with my head instead of my heart. But we tipped St Kilda to kick off the round by 26. They won by 2 in one of the best contests over the course of the weekend, which I didn't think was the case, because when we were presented with a double header on Friday night, I said the Fremantle-Brisbane game was going to be the game that I wanted to watch, and the Essendon-St Kilda game ended up being the better game. Blows my mind. But St Kilda started us off with a win. Fremantle then let us down in a big way, and I did jokingly say in my last tipping video that I should tip Brisbane because it's away from the Gabba. And it happened. We tipped the Gold Coast to defeat GWS at People's First, and GWS made them look second rate. I really do feel GWS could be a finals threat this year. We then get green ticks for a couple of games. We tipped Carlton to defeat Port Adelaide, we tipped Hawthorn to defeat Melbourne, and we tipped Adelaide to defeat Collingwood. That game as well being one of the better games of the round. I backed in my boys Richmond against North Melbourne, and at half-time it looked promising. And then Richmond didn't rock up for the second half, and North Melbourne went absolutely ballistic. We tipped Geelong over Sydney, and we tipped the Bulldogs over West Coast. That does mean that even if I did get my gauntlet tip last week correct with tipping Carlton, I would have bombed out this week, which is unfortunate, and there's fuck all people left in the gauntlet there. But while 6 out of 9 might be a pass mark for many this week, we had somebody go rather big in my competition. Congratulations to Kirsty H from Princess Cahill. 8 out of 9 tips correct. I feel the Brisbane tip and the GWS tip could have been so easy. The North Melbourne tip could have been so easy as well. But 8 out of 9, near perfect round. Congratulations. And we move on to the overall leader board heading into the final round of the season. To no surprise, Lana S. Skyvo has been on top of the leaderboard every single round this year and is leading the charge still by 3 tips. It's going to take some serious unravelling for her to lose this spot, and to have it from round 1 all the way to this point in time essentially is a huge feat. So once again, Lana, congratulations to you for topping the leaderboard again for another round. My top 10 then rounds out with NATO, Macca0303, Beanos, Jazz Sky 13, Princess Cahill, Frio 90, Gramercy Riff 78, Yarra Villa, and MRL from PA. Congratulations to my top 10. I've dropped to 26. 136. I'm 4 tips away from the top 20. I'm not going to be able to do this. Here we go. Round 24. I've got the most popular tips selected so we can have a look at those before making our own decisions. It kicks off later tonight. As I said, Essendon taking on Carlton. Dylan Shiel and Zach Merritt in for Essendon. And a couple of outs for Carlton. This will be Dylan Shiel's last football game. I'm pretty sure he's hanging up the boots at the end of the year. And who knows what's going on with Zach Merritt, because there's a lot of talk that people might be hitting him up during the upcoming trade period. 2 teams that put in a lot of effort last week. I definitely feel Carlton get the win here, and I'm going to go Carlton by 29 points. Harry Mackay got off the chain last week against Port Adelaide, and I feel he is going to just do exactly the same to this Essendon defence. It could get ugly. It could be another 6 or 7 goals for the big man. Again, we have another doubleheader on Friday night. I don't fucking understand this fixturing, and you will see that this is actually an extended round because we're owed a game. So this is going to go all the way into Wednesday next week, which is absolutely ridiculous. But Friday night footy, it kicks off with Collingwood hosting Melbourne. I am going to lock in Collingwood here. I feel Melbourne are at a state with their list that there are a lot of players that are going to be playing for themselves because there might not be contract extensions offered, and there could be a lot of shipping going around during the trade period this year, especially the likes of Clayton Oliver, Christian Petrarca, Bailey Fritsch, Stephen May or Jake Lever even. So definitely feel here Collingwood losing a tight contest to Adelaide last week. They bounce back in a big way this week to secure a top 4 finish. We then have Port Adelaide hosting the Gold Coast Suns. I am very tempted to tip Port Adelaide here in an upset. I just feel Ken Hinckley's last game as coach, Travis Boak's last game as a player, the stage is set for Port Adelaide to just rock up and do something. You know what? I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going Port Adelaide. Gold Coast away from People's First, a completely different team from what they are playing at home, and they played at home last week and got embarrassed, so there could be a chip on the shoulder and they might want to come out and do some damage. I just think Port Adelaide at home, given the circumstances, should rise to the occasion. Maybe I'm going to regret this decision later, I don't know, but we're going to roll on. Saturday afternoon, Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne hosting Adelaide. Adelaide are going to win this one convincingly. I'm thinking 40 plus points. They lock up the minor premiership for the year. Richmond then host Geelong at the MCG. And as much as I would like to see a competitive nature out of Richmond, I mean, the last time we saw Richmond play Geelong, Richmond had a very high pressure rating for 3 quarters of football. So hopefully we can see that at the very least. But I think this is a game where Geelong are going to absolutely dismantle us, and they're going to look to lock up a top 4 spot for themselves as well. We then round out Saturday afternoon at Optus Stadium with West Coast hosting Sydney. I definitely feel there is a realm of possibility here where West Coast actually win this game. Brodie Grundy's back in though. We'll be fighting fit. Isaac Heaney in good form. Chad Warner in good form. I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting game. I feel this is very winnable for West Coast. Could they get a jump on them? Is Sydney going to be too strong? I'm going to lock in Sydney for now, just based on team selection. Once that is announced and I have a better look, I might swap to West Coast, so stay tuned for that. Sunday, we have 3 games going down, the first of which is GWS hosting St Kilda at NG Stadium. GWS win this game and could potentially lock up a top 4 finish, I believe. They're in a possibility and a realm to do so. These games have a lot of implications on the top 8. The Bulldogs taking on Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. The winner plays finals, the loser doesn't. It is plain and simple. And I feel, given it's being played at Marvel, I need to give the Bulldogs the edge here. We have to give the Bulldogs the edge. They play Marvel so incredibly well. It's got to be another season where Fremantle were in a position to finish top 4 and then miss the finals completely. And it's nothing to laugh at. I shouldn't giggle. I shouldn't scoff and laugh. For a team that's got such a comprehensive list like Fremantle has, I don't understand how they keep getting themselves in this position. But given that this could be Nat Fyfe's final game, and he's announced his retirement, and they're now really wanting to push for a premiership tilt for Nat Fyfe, just to see him out in his final year with cup in hand. Fremantle, I feel, can win this game. I just don't think they will. The Gabba rounds out Sunday with Brisbane hosting Hawthorn. I'm incredibly tempted to go Hawthorn here. No Eric Hipwood, no Lachie Neale. We don't know if Oscar McInerney's back in. And Hawthorn are just getting about right now and getting things done. With no Eric Hipwood, it opens up now the possibility of Sicily, for Barras, for Battle to just intercept and dominate in that back half. I'm going to go Hawthorn for an upset at the Gabba. Just because I don't have any faith in backing Brisbane at the Gabba this year. And the final game of the round, as I said, on Wednesday. People's First Stadium, Gold Coast, Essendon. This is very controversial. If Gold Coast were in a position at this point in time here that they had to win this game to make finals, very much an unfair advantage, given in round 0 we would have had a full complement for Essendon, a full team, no injuries, and they would have been at full strength. Would have been a completely different outcome, I feel, in that game. If anything, it would have been a closer contest if the Gold Coast do win. That's going to blow out of proportion in a big way, unfortunately, and the Gold Coast are going to lock up a win to finish the season. So we are looking at Carlton, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Adelaide, Geelong, Sydney, GWS, Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, and the Gold Coast Suns. Thank you for joining me for the final tipping video of the 2025 home and away season. I will be doing finals coverage for tipping, I will be doing finals coverage for recapping, and even though I can't nominate my best 22 under 22 team, we're going to cover the best 22 under 22 because I've got some opinions. We're going to be picking my All-Australian team coming up as well. Big things going down. But if you've got any recommendations for content you would like to see me do, the comment section is wide open. Let me know. Do hit that like button down below if you enjoy the content I'm making. It does go a long way to helping myself out. And hit that subscribe button if you want to get on board the community we are building together as well. Thank you so much for everybody that has gotten on board for this season. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. Good luck to your teams this weekend. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.